Beerus offered Goku the position of God of Destruction, that's right. But calm down, because I'm going to explain everything that's happening. Why did Beerus do this? Is it because of complete Ultra Instinct or even true Ultra Instinct? That's what I'm going to show you. So without further ado, let's go. From the moment Goku achieved Super Saiyan God, his presence in the Dragon Ball universe began to be viewed differently. It was no longer just a Saiyan warrior capable of challenging mortal enemies, but someone who had touched divine power. It was then that Whis, already observing Goku's unique nature, considered that he could be the next to occupy the position of God of Destruction, a role destined for beings who transcend the common logic of power. Goku, with his detached personality and passion for battles, refused the idea, saying that he didn't want to be someone who lives only to destroy, but to fight against powerful warriors. However, even after refusing this initial invitation, Goku continued to evolve impressively. Training alongside Whis and his coexistence with Beerus expanded his boundaries as a warrior. Super Saiyan Blue, followed by the temporary mastery of Kaioken in conjunction with this form, already demonstrated that Goku had no limits in his quest for transcendence. Every battle he faced, whether against Hit, Zamasu, or Jiren, brought him closer to a level increasingly unattainable for other mortals. The Tournament of Power was the pinnacle of this evolution. Goku reached a state that not even the gods believed he could achieve: Ultra Instinct. Initially incomplete, unstable, but already showing the essence of something that transcended the concept of mortals and deities. When he finally awakened mastered Ultra Instinct, his silver aura and impeccable movements made even the gods of destruction stand up in respect. It was definitive proof that he was at a level that even the gods themselves recognized. Beerus, until then seen as the most powerful god of destruction in the multiverse, never managed to master Ultra Instinct. His fighting style relies on destructive instinct, absolute power, and the balance between fury and discipline. Goku, on the other hand, transcended this logic by uniting his passion for fighting with the serenity needed to achieve the perfect state. This created a notable difference between the two, and many began to believe that Goku had already surpassed the barrier separating mortals from gods. Whis, who always followed Goku's development, knew that this potential could be honed to a point where Goku would not only be a candidate to succeed Beerus, but would naturally become someone superior. For Whis, Ultra Instinct was proof that the essence of angels, beings whose function is to guide and not to fight, could coexist in a mortal. This made Goku unique. Goku's initial refusal to become a god of destruction may have seemed simple, but it represented something deeper. Goku does not desire power for power's sake. He does not want to be placed in a position of authority or obligation. He only desires to fight, evolve, and feel the thrill of a fair combat. This mentality is what, paradoxically, makes him so apt to assume a divine position, because he does not desire it. Even so, rumors among the gods themselves began to spread. If a mortal achieved Ultra Instinct, what would prevent him from being considered Beerus' natural successor? Other universes already feared Goku's power, and some even saw him as a threat to balance, precisely because he is not bound by the same responsibilities and limits as a traditional god of destruction. Beerus, in turn, never openly admitted that Goku could surpass him, but in his expressions and reactions, it was possible to see that he already recognized this risk. Beerus' pride as a god of destruction prevented him from declaring this, but the simple memory of the fight against Goku in Super Saiyan God form, when the Saiyan withstood attacks that would destroy a planet with a simple touch, already showed that something extraordinary had been born in that mortal. Goku's evolution after this point only consolidated this perception. Complete Ultra Instinct was not just a form, but a turning point. Not even Jiren, considered the strongest mortal warrior before Goku, could keep up with the true power of this transformation. The angels themselves declared that this state was extremely rare, a gift that even deities took eternities to achieve. This raises a big question. If Goku has already achieved what even Beerus hasn't, what would happen if he actually accepted the title of God of Destruction? The universe would certainly undergo an unprecedented transformation. He would be a god of destruction different from all others, guided not by the desire to destroy, but by the pursuit of challenges and balance through fighting. This difference in mentality could even redefine the role of a god of destruction within the cosmic order. Whis, always enigmatic, never directly pressured Goku to accept the position. He knows that deep down the decision must come from within the Saiyan himself. But the simple fact that he continues to train Goku and Vegeta demonstrates that, at some point, perhaps succession will be inevitable. After all, Beerus is not eternal, and the balance of the universe always needs to be maintained. Goku, even without wanting it, has already become a deity in the eyes of many. His strength, his courage, and his ability to break limits make him someone who transcends labels. Whether he will or will not be the next god of destruction is still uncertain. But what is already clear is that Goku represents something even greater, proof that even a mortal can achieve the impossible. And perhaps it is precisely this characteristic that makes him the most feared and respected candidate to take Beerus's place. For while the gods rely on rules and responsibilities, Goku is free. And this freedom, united with the absolute power of Ultra Instinct, is what places him at a level where only the grandest in the universe can exist. In the latest chapters of the superhero saga, something unexpected and at the same time revealing happened. Beerus himself called Goku for a more serious conversation than usual. Unlike discussions about food, sleep, or trivial fights, this time the tone was different. Beerus, with all his imposing presence and cold honesty, stated that Goku was increasingly close to surpassing his power, and when that happened, he himself would be chosen to assume the position of God of Destruction of Universe 7. This declaration, coming from the most feared god of destruction of all, was something that shocked even Whis, who rarely shows surprise. The mere fact that Beerus recognized Goku's potential is extraordinary. Since their first encounter, the divine purple cat had never directly admitted that Goku could surpass him. He always treated the Saiyan as an impressive warrior, but still distant from his divinity. However, after everything that happened, the ascension to complete Ultra Instinct, Gohan's beast form, Broly's growth, and the new enemies that tested the limits of Universe 7, Beerus could no longer deny that Goku had reached a level that placed him on par with a god of destruction. This recognition was, without a doubt, a turning point. Until then, many fans and even the characters within the story wondered whether Goku had already surpassed Beerus or not. With this statement, Beerus not only admitted this possibility but also made it clear that, when this definitively happened, there would be no more suitable candidate to replace him than the Saiyan himself. This shows that even the proudest god of destruction is capable of recognizing when a mortal surpasses him. But, as expected, Goku immediately refused. He thanked him for the recognition but made it clear that he had no interest in taking on that kind of responsibility. Goku's argument was the same as always. He doesn't fight for status, titles, or positions, but for the thrill of combat and the desire to always become stronger. For him, being a god of destruction would mean being bound by rules and duties that would keep him away from what he loves most, fighting freely. This refusal, however obvious to those who know Goku, visibly bothered Beerus, not because he expected the Saiyan to accept, but because he himself knows that the universe will need a new balance in the future. If Goku refuses to be the next god of destruction, who could occupy that place? Vegeta, even with his ultra ego, has not yet shown the same connection to the position that Goku naturally awakens. Whis, on the other hand, seemed calm with Goku's answer. The angel knows his disciple better than anyone and knows that his refusal is precisely what makes him even more apart. It is the paradox that defines Goku. By not desiring power, he ends up reaching levels that those who live in search of it would never achieve. For Whis, the question is not whether Goku will accept or not in the future, but whether he will have a choice when the time comes. This scene also reinforces the mutual respect that Goku and Beerus have developed over the years. At the beginning of Dragon Ball Super, Beerus looked at the Saiyan as a mere distraction, someone who could be erased with a snap of his fingers if he annoyed him too much. Today, he already sees him as a potential rival, perhaps even as someone destined to inevitably surpass him. This recognition is one of the greatest signs of Goku's evolution, not only in power, but also in impact within the cosmic hierarchy. It is insane to imagine that Goku, a Saiyan who was born on a doomed planet and sent to Earth to destroy it, reached the point of being considered by Beerus himself as his successor. This shows how much the Dragon Ball narrative has always revolved around overcoming limits and breaking expectations. Who could imagine that a simple warrior, motivated only by the passion to fight, would come to be compared directly with the gods? Goku's refusal also serves as a reminder of who he is at heart. Even having achieved complete Ultra Instinct, something that even Beerus could not master, he remains the same naive, pure, and determined fighter as always. For him, true pleasure lies in fighting and personal growth, and not in becoming a deity with obligations. This purity is what differentiates him from the gods and at the same time places him above them. Beerus, despite the refusal, seemed more satisfied than disappointed. He knows that with Goku always seeking to surpass himself, he will have an eternal rival who will keep him alert. The threat of being surpassed is, paradoxically, what gives purpose to Beerus himself, who often seemed bored with his existence. Having Goku as a potential successor does not only mean preparing the future of Universe 7, but also having someone capable of giving meaning to his function in the present. The other gods of destruction, upon hearing rumors of this invitation, would certainly be surprised. Many of them had already recognized Goku in the Tournament of Power, but the confirmation that even Beerus considers passing him on would be unprecedented. This could even cause discomfort among the universes, as no other mortal has achieved such a feat. Goku would be about to become a cosmic exception, a unique case in the history of the multiverse. In the end, Goku's refusal only reinforces his nature. He will not be the next god of destruction because he does not wish to be, but even so, his existence continues to shape the destiny of Universe 7. Beerus recognized this, Whis understands this, and even the other gods already perceive it. The truth is that, even without accepting the title, Goku is already at a level where being called God of Destruction or not is just a detail. And it is precisely this simplicity of Goku that makes the whole situation even crazier. He refused a title that any other being would consider the pinnacle of existence just to continue being himself, a warrior who fights for passion, without ties, without obligations, just for the pure will to become increasingly stronger. The other gods of destruction, upon learning of Goku's refusal, would be divided in their reactions. Some would see this as an affront. After all, who in their right mind would refuse the title of God of Destruction, something that places the individual among the most powerful in the multiverse? Others, especially those who witnessed the awakening of Ultra Instinct in the Tournament of Power, would understand that Goku is simply different. He does not act with ambition, does not seek status, and this makes him an even more enigmatic figure in the eyes of the deities. Zeno, in turn, would probably react in a unique way. The Omni King likes Goku precisely because of his simple and carefree personality. For him, the fact that Goku is not interested in the position of God of Destruction would make everything even more fun. Zeno does not see hierarchy in the same way as the other gods, and perhaps deep down, he even prefers Goku to continue being exactly who he is, a free fighter who brings chaos and excitement to a static multiverse. Whis, as a guide and observer, sees this as a scenario of inevitability. Even if Goku never formally accepts the title, his power and influence already place him in a position that transcends that of any mortal. The mere fact that Beerus recognized him was already a cosmic paradigm shift. For Whis, what matters is not the title but what Goku represents, proof that even mortals can achieve and surpass the gods. In the end, Goku's refusal does not weaken the idea of his divinity, but reinforces it. He continues to be the warrior who redefines the rules of the game, the one who transforms the power structure of the multiverse just by existing and fighting. And even without agreeing to be the next god of destruction, Goku has already become the ultimate reference of Universe 7, a being that even the gods cannot ignore. But comment on what you thought of all this, and don't forget to like. Thank you very much for everyone's support, and see you next time.